finalist there. But Rafter, as we all know, thrives on wins and beginning to put together the sort of sequence that we're so used to seeing from him, particularly at this time of the first meeting, incidentally, was in Adelaide back in '94, 6-1, 7-5. Kafelnikov won that. He also won that year in the Davis Cup, 6-3, 6-love, 6-4, and then in New Haven, 7-6, 6-4. That was in the final of '97. So those were Kafelnikov's 3 wins. Kafelnikov needs to win this match to keep alive his chances of being #1 next week. If he wins, and if he wins the final against Sampras, he goes to #1. If Rafter wins this match, Sampras stays at #1. And it's Rafter to serve.
Play.
This is the first match in which Rafter served first. It's also his 3rd night match. Quite an advantage. Played both Wednesday and last night. Looked a little stuff moving to that.
Yes, I thought so too. And even, you know, on the first point, you thought he had a chance to make the pass down the line.
He's very slow to his receiving position, as we could see. Almost as if he's not quite ready. And one of the reasons I said beforehand that if they both play to their real ability, I can see Kafelnikov winning it, as that return where he can take the ball so early.
Well, a love service game for Rafter to get us underway. Finishing the game in typical serve and volley fashion. Evgeny Kafelnikov's opening service game of this second semi-final in Cincinnati, the Great American Insurance ATP Championships.
He has these spells where he can serve really well, other times missing many first serves. Hurried action tends to come through to you a bit more quickly, you feel.
He doesn't seem to be moving freely at all, does he, even there? Oh, that's a lovely pass. Particularly because Rafter's approach couldn't have been any deeper.
This is a key play because we know we're going to see Rafter attacking a lot more, and Kafelnikov's just got to keep his head. Certainly good moving there. Got a similar game in many ways to Kiefer off the ground, and Kiefer has such a good record against Rafter this year.
Oh, what a great point. Had everything.
Well, magnificent tennis. And perhaps the shot of the rally, that sliced lob by Rafter, almost Rose-Wallian in its character. Well, the battle's joined. He served a lot to Chang's forehand. It'll be interesting to see whether he attacks the Kafelnikov forehand as well.
14.
First ace of the match from Rafter. And he remains on ahead on serve. 2 games to 1. Unfortunately, the drizzle that delayed the start of the first semi-final has dissipated. As you can see, the clouds now fairly high. And play getting underway a little later on the Saturday, half an hour later than the evening sessions earlier in the week, so very much in twilight, and therefore the lights burning brightly. Pretty good floodlighting here. It's an excellent facility.
Yes, of course, it needs to be good, particularly for our purposes, for television purposes. And I mentioned the fact that Rafter had played twice, a real advantage. You should really make the effort if you've got a night match to get out and practice at some stage, but that's not easy to do. Many players like to play quite a while before, don't exactly like to play leading or practice leading up to a match. And it's not easy to duplicate night. So the very fact that he's been out here twice before certainly gives him a bit of an edge. Otherwise, pretty ideal conditions, reasonably cool. And as David says, with these excellent lights.
Stefan Edberg always used to hate playing at night, and if you look at his career record, some of his most disappointing losses came under the lights. Some players like it. The majority prefer to play in daylight. I suppose Jimmy Connors always used to thrive on the night matches at the US Open. He created a special atmosphere.
Yes, I think he just liked that stage. I think one of the problems for a multi-volleyer is that if the opponent really hits the ball hard, you've got to pick it up well. The lights have got to be terrific. After just giving it a bit of a glance, so certainly very close to the line. Still got his pajamas on. Maybe he's all going straight from here to bed.
13.
A little lazy there, Kafelnikov, not perhaps fully concentrated at 40 love. Move the feet too much. Evgeny, the only one of the semi-finalists not to have won a Super 9 title.
Yes, I think it's something like after last week's final, 3 or 4, maybe 4 finals in Super 9s.
This last year lost in the final of the Stuttgart Indoors to Krajicek. '97, Evgeny was runner-up in Hanover, of course, the World Championships. '96, runner-up in the Paris Indoors. And in '94, runner-up in Hamburg. So 4 Super 9 finals lost, and plus the World Championships, after raining aces at him. Second love service game for Rafter, who in 3 service games has conceded just the 1 point on serve. 3-2 to the Australian. That's a reference, of course, to our colleagues from ESPN who, like us, have a sports centre. Not as good as ours, of course. Goes without saying. 2-3 Kafelnikov.
Well, the first time anyone's lost the first point, always a bit of encouragement for the returner, particularly somebody like Rafter, who's so aggressive. And even more so with the first serve missed.
Paying the price for once of not looking to get in at all. He was very defensive in that point.
Yes, I thought so too. It would have worked out all right, and you probably wouldn't have said anything had Kafelnikov made an error. But I think he needed to put pressure on early in the match. Finds it a bit easier, of course, to chip and charge on the backhand side on this right court. Now, the players that Rafter's played, of course, Kafelnikov represents more of a Vacek type, somebody who can come in and play very effectively at the net, take the net from the Australian.